Hello and welcome, dear students, to a series of grammar in use. In this lesson, we are going to explore phrasal verbs. Kindly make a note that this lesson is based on the structure of grammar, that is, how phrasal verbs are constructed or used in a construction in a sentence, how they are placed together, how they are separated with the object of the verb. The lesson is not regarding the meanings of phrasal verbs. However, we will be discussing a few meanings as we come across. You are requested to get a pen and notepad ready to take down the pointers and construct the sentences as we go along. Let us dive into it. Let us first understand what are phrasal verbs. Now, some verbs in English have two or more words in them and usually have a new meaning when they are used together. They are called phrasal verbs. In simple words, two words come together and those that together phrase is known as the phrasal verb. In this case, one is usually a verb and the second one, though it appears to be a preposition, we do not call it a preposition, we call it a particle because the role that it is playing is completely different. So we call it a particle. Now let us see, the first pointer that we have is regarding the phrasal verbs, how they are constructed. Phrasal verbs have a verb plus one or more particles. Particles means they can be a preposition or an adverb. So I prefer calling them particles. Okay. So we have one verb and a particle. Together they make a phrasal verb. The particle often changes the usual meaning of the verb. That means when they are together, neither this meaning is applied, the first word's meaning is applied, nor the second word's meaning is applied. Together they come and give a new meaning as per the language or the context in which we are using. Now, the phrasal verbs have got certain established meaning in English language. Most of it you need to understand, learn by heart, and then use them in sentences. In this lesson, we are going to explore exactly how these phrasal verbs are placed in our sentence construction. Now, this particular sentence, I get up early every day. Get is a verb, up is a particle, together it is a phrasal verb. Let us proceed and see how they are formed. The particle always comes after the verb. The first is the verb and then is the particle. The verb changes forms just the way the verb in a sentence change according to noun, pronoun, or the subject. The verbs will change forms. For example, having a s or dropping an s. The particle never changes forms. That means up remains up only. You don't make it ups and you don't make it upping. You don't make it up. Nothing is added to it. It remains as such. So one pointer is that the verb changes its forms according to the subject in the sentence. He gets up. Gets has got an extra s. This construction is correct. He get ups. This is completely wrong. The particle will not take an s. It will not take any additional part in it. So this construction is completely wrong. He up gets, now changing the or interchanging the place. This is completely wrong and should be avoided. I hope the construction and the usage is understood. He gets up. Only the first verb will have an s or drop an s based on the subject. Let us see examples based on what we have learned so far. You work out at a gym. Over here, workout means to exercise. You exercise at the gym. You work out at the gym. The cat sometimes runs away. Runs away means leaves its master. They don't eat out very often. Eating out is actually dining outside the house. Do you always turn up late? Over here, turn up means coming or showing up late. Questions are formed in the usual way, the construction remains the same. He doesn't go out when he is tired. Negatives are used in the usual way. How sentences are constructed? Go out is actually stepping out of the house. He chills out in the evening. Over here, chills out means to relax or take rest. We can check into the hotel now. Check means to register and to enter. Do they meet up most weekends? Meet up means meeting in person. The next pointer that we have is that phrasal verbs in different tenses. Now we have learned so far that only the verb will change its forms. The particle will not change its form at all. Now let us see how do they act when they become a part of the tenses. When phrasal verbs are used in different tenses, the verb changes but the particle remains the same. So that means the rule is more or less the same that we had seen previously. In the present simple, I work out every week. Over here, work out means exercise. Now the past simple is that, or simple past is, I worked out yesterday. That means I exercised yesterday. Present continuous is I am working out right now. Working out means I'm exercising right now. Future with will is I will work out tomorrow. I will exercise tomorrow. Over here we can see the work is taking on different inflections and or different words to show different types of tenses, but the particle out remains as such and unchanged. Now let us see certain constructions, how these phrasal verbs are used. I cleaned up the kitchen last night. Cleaned up, that means wipe and dust, etc. That is clean. Ed is added. I think we have lost. We are lost. We are lost. We should have looked up the route. Looked up means referred the route. Over ed is added to the word look. You should go over your answers again. Go over means to revise the answers. I can't believe she turned down the job. Ed is added to the word turn down means refuse or decline. I'm still getting over the flu. Getting over is to overcome or recover from flu. Over here, ing is added to the word get over. The car is always breaking down. Breaking down means out of order. Ing is added to the word break. She doesn't dress up very often. Dress up means to wear makeup, to have a lovely dress, have jewelry, accessories, etc. That is called dressing up. I'm counting on Rajiv to give the presentation next week. Counting on means relying upon someone. Count ing is added to it. Meet up with friends last weekend. I met up with friends. Met up means physically gathered together. Here, meet becomes the past tense met. When will they grow up? Grow up means become matured. At this moment, you're requested to pause the video and construct a few sentences using phrasal verbs with certain inflections, ed, ing, etc. as per your ability to construct. Let us proceed to the next pointer. The next pointer is separable phrasal verbs. Now, phrasal verbs we have seen two words together. One is a main verb, one is a particle. Now, in certain cases, these phrasal verbs are constructed in such a way used in such a way in a sentence construction that certain objects come either after the entire phrasal verb, or certain objects split open the phrasal verb and the object is in between, or in certain cases of the phrasal verbs you can leave out the object and complete the construction. Now let us begin reading the rule that we have. If a phrasal verb has a direct object, it can sometimes go between the verb and the particle. Phrasal verbs that do this are called separable phrasal verbs. Now, these phrasal verbs that split open and allow an object to sit in between, they are known as separable phrasal verbs. Let us see the constructions that we have before us. He is picking up. Now, you can have a sentence, he's picking up. That means he is getting along or he is learning something. Now, if you're saying he is picking up litter, now this means literally he is bending, picking something and then keeping it in a bag or something. That is called picking up over here. The object can go after the particle. The litter, the word litter or the garbage or the waste can go soon after the particle, that is up. Now, another construction is he is picking the litter up or he's picking litter up. Over here, the object can also go between the verb and the particle. In this case, you can have the object soon after the main verb. The main object is placed and then you have your particle. You may also have a pronoun, but with pronoun as the main object, there is only one standard rule, that is to place it soon after the verb. Avoid placing it afterwards. He is picking it up. You cannot say he is picking up it. I hope that you have understood that certain phrasal verbs you can place the object after it. Certain phrasal verbs can split up and take the object in between it. And certain pronouns, if they are used as the object of the verb, they should be placed soon after the verb. Avoid placing them at the end or after the object of the or after the particle. Let us see certain examples. I turned on the light. Turned on means to switch on. Can you pick up that box? Pick up means to reach for it, hold it in the hand. You should throw away those old shoes. Throw away means discard. I was annoyed because he woke up the baby. You can also say he woke the baby up. I always fill up the water jug when it is empty. Now we have seen the construction. Now let us see it with the comparison. I turned on the light. I turned the light on. Turned on over here is to switch it on, and object is the light. And now in this case, I turned the light on. The light is the subject, an immediate subject of turned. You can pick up that box. Pick up over here is together. That box is afterwards. Can you pick that box up? Over here, the object is inserted between the verb and the particle. You should throw away those old shoes. Throw away, verb and the particle is together. You should throw those old shoes away. Those old shoes are the objects or the object of the verb, so it is placed together, and over here you can see the group of words or a phrase. I was annoyed because he woke up the baby. Woke up is the phrasal verb that is together over here. I was annoyed because he woke her up. Woke her up is where you have the object splitting the phrasal verb and sitting in between. I always fill up the water jug when it is empty. Fill up is the phrasal verb that is together. I always fill it up. It is actually for the jug. Fill it up when it's empty. At this point, you are requested to construct sentences and try changing it with the separable phrasal verbs as well without changing the meaning. You may pause the video while you are working on the exercise. Let us proceed. Now, one common error: separable verbs. If the direct object of the separable phrasal verb is a pronoun, it must go between the verb and the particle. For example, he picked it up. It should be soon after the verb. You cannot place this word it after the particle. He picked up it is completely incorrect. I had pointed this out while I was explaining the previous meaning. The next pointer that we have is inseparable phrasal verbs. Now, certain phrasal verbs cannot be separated at all, no matter what the meaning be. These phrasal verbs are intact and the object should be placed after it. Some phrasal verbs cannot be separated. The object must always come after the particle. It can never sit between the particle and the verb. This is true whether the object is a noun or a pronoun. Example, we had to run to get on the train. This is correct. We had to run to get the train on. The meaning is completely lost because get on means to board. This is wrong. The object sits between the verb and the can't sit between the verb and the particle at all. The verb or the particle must stay together and the object comes after it. That is the applied rule over here. Now let us see certain examples based on the given rule that we have seen just now. I need to go over my notes. Go over means revise. Susan really takes after her father. They are very similar. From the context, we can understand takes after means resembles or there is some similarity. I have come across a new recipe. Come across means stumbled or accidentally you have discovered something that was already there and you have come across it, or that means you came to know about it. I'm taking care of my sister's children tonight. Taking care means looking after someone. It's great to hear from you. That means getting into conversation or getting connected through phone, etc. That is hearing from a person, even through a letter. Caterpillars turn into butterfly. That means giving up one phase and adopting or new initiating the new phase. That's applied meaning of the phrasal verb turn into. He has fallen behind the rest of the class this year. This means it is used for comparison, not working as hard as others. That is applied. Falling behind is a progressive report. I ran into her at the supermarket. Ran into her means accidentally met someone. Drop by means to come in to meet. Drop by the house anytime you like. He sleeps in most Saturdays. That means he takes a rest on Saturdays. They will have to do without a trip this summer. They will have to continue without engaging in certain holiday trips. That is the meaning applied over here. Get on the bus for the beach. That means to board the bus. Get off that bicycle if you don't have a helmet. That means to step down from the bicycle. I'm looking into visiting somewhere warm. That means pondering on some idea. These are the meanings of the phrasal verbs that we have understood so far or discovered. requesting the students to pause the video at this time and construct sentences using the phrasal verbs given on screen. Let us proceed to the next pointer. The next pointer, we have the three-word phrasal verbs. Three-word phrasal verbs are verbs, particles. Now here we have the words playing the role of a preposition. That is the reason I had not used the word preposition for the particles which are a part of the phrasal verbs. So we have a complete phrasal verb and a preposition, and these work together as a structure and they are placed in the sentence as a structure. The three word phrasal verbs have a verb, a particle, and a preposition. The particle and prepositions often change the usual meaning of the verb. For example, the sentence that we have before us, he looks up to his brother. Looks up to means looks for support, advice, or considers him as a role model. These are the meanings that you can extract from it. The verb changes with the subject. You can see with he, looks s has been added, and the particle and the preposition never change form. So the particle and the preposition, if they will not have any id, ed, or ing, etc., added to it. Intonation is generally used for spoken English. The stress is on the middle. If there are three words, look up to. Up is stressed. Get along with. Along is stressed. Look forward to. Forward is stressed. While talking, this is the intonation. Further examples, most and but not all three words, phrasal verbs are inseparable. Now they cannot be separated. We have run off coffee, so I'll get some more. We are walking too fast. I can't keep up with you. I must have dropped my keys when I was getting out of the car. At this point, the students are requested to pause the video and construct sentences using the three-word phrasal verbs. Coming to the next pointer, getting back from. To get back from. Get back from. Get back from can be separable as well as inseparable depending on the context. Now these three-word phrasal verb construction can be separable. It can have an object in between or it cannot have an object in between. Let us see. When get back from means to get from, it is always inseparable. I got back from Italy yesterday. The idea is that returned from. So in that case, it will not be broken down. When get back from means to retrieve from, it is separable. Retrieve means to get something from. The object must go between get and back. I need to get the lawnmower back from Tina. Get, the object of the sentence, back from Tina. So get back is broken down with the object inserted in between and from remains after it. The next pointer that we have is noun based on phrasal verbs. Now, when you have phrasal verbs, certain phrasal verbs combine in such a way that they give the look of a compound word and they are used as nouns. Some nouns are made from phrasal verbs, often formed by joining the verb and the particle together. When these words are spoken, the stress is usually on the verb. For example, the teacher asked me to hand out the exam papers. Over here, when they're clubbed together, the teacher gave us a handout for the lesson. Over here, the stress is on the first syllable. And from here, phrasal verb, they have now here it is used as a noun and of course constructed as a noun, used as a noun. Now let us see certain examples and pointers. Sometimes a noun is formed by putting the particle in front of the verb. In these cases, the spoken stress is usually on the particle. Now you can see that there is an interchange, down and pouring, downpours. Oh no, it was sunny and now it's pouring down. Pouring down means raining. We have a rainy season with daily downpours. Downpours is the word where it means raining heavily. So here it is changed as a noun. Further examples, the company is trying to cut back on staff expenses. It's a shame that he wants to drop out of school. We want to get away to go somewhere sunny this winter. Now let us see the comparison how these words are changed. The company is trying to cut back means reduce expenses. No another cutback. The company must be in serious trouble. You can see how it is changed to a noun. Dropout and dropouts. We had a surprisingly high percentage of dropouts in the class. Here it's used as a noun. We want to get away to somewhere sunny this winter. A trip to Australia sounds like a fabulous getaway. Here it is used as a noun. Here it is used as a phrasal verb. I request the students to try using that as a phrasal verb and noun at least one construction. Pause the video at this moment and try constructing. With this, we have come to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed and liked it. And if you liked it, kindly click on like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much for your kind attention.